Hey everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
This is your horror show news with booze. Once again, every Friday we sit here and talk about this week's top horror news stories, at least as far as we're concerned. We give our opinions on them after we talk about the stories themselves. So, Fuego, I know the first one is big news that's been covered around a lot at this point, but we needed to cover it, so what is that?
Since I know you're going to talk about the second one, you got a little bit more bearing on that. So, Tarantino, everybody was asking, what is his next project going to be? There was rumors that he was going to be taking a retirement, which people were just like flabbergasted about, and he was like, I still got a couple films left in me. And apparently, his next project is going to be a Manson family, not so much a biopic, but we're presuming a Tarantino interpretation, much like we got with Inglourious Basterds, with the World War II conflict and stuff like that. So, yeah, he has tapped Jennifer Lawrence was somebody he was talking to initially. We're not sure how that has actually panned out, but Brad Pitt, his old buddy from Inglourious Basterds, once again, is either going to be a detective who's on the case of the original late 60s murders of Shannon Tate and just the horrendousness that the Manson family actually put forth there, or he's going to be a prosecutor. There's two different rumors going around about what this script is actually about, but needless to say, to just boil it all down, Tarantino biopic, I keep saying that. Thank you, News with Booze, in our pre-gaming. But Tarantino doing a Marilyn Manson. You're saying Marilyn Manson, man. Terrible. So, a Charles Manson film directed by Quentin Tarantino. What do you guys think? I want to hear Cecil's opinion first.
I'm interested. I've never been a big true life crime guy at all. I'm just not that interested. So we did a trailer reaction for a movie that looked pretty good called The Wolves at the Door, and it's
loosely based.
But even that didn't really tickle my fancy that much. So I don't know if this is going to be any better or not, but I am interested because it's Quentin Tarantino.
Always, yeah.
Although he's rocking the Reggie Bannister look right now, apparently, judging by that picture.
He's got the
long hair. He's got that. Yeah, he's losing it, and he's hanging on.
Reggie.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely interested, but I would see it in the theater because it's Quentin. Yeah. But if it wasn't, I don't know that I would rush out to it.
Yeah, I know. Both of us were not as impressed with Hateful Eight. I mean, I actually like Django a whole lot better than Hateful Eight personally.
For sure.
Hateful Eight was too long, and the break in between, especially when we didn't see it in the proper with the intermission in between, we're like, why is Quentin Tarantino himself suddenly doing a voiceover at the beginning of what seems to be the second half of the film? So that was a little odd. The casting, on the other hand, is one thing that I'm curious about, because I guess Jennifer Lawrence turned down the Shannon Tate role, and then he went to the Harley Quinn girl, whose name is eluding me at the moment. Margot Robbie, yeah. So my theory, as I posed to our buddy Lou at work yesterday, I was like, I'm thinking that very similar to with Inglourious Basterds, Tarantino is going to do his own personal revisionist history, and maybe we will see Shannon Tate get sliced up, but not quite killed, and then it turns into I spit on your grave, revenge type shit. That's my theory.
Okay, that would be interesting. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure.
He's all about doing that kind of thing where he likes to kind of twist, but what lots of friends that I've talked to, they're like, I just don't want him to glorify Marilyn Manson.
Right.
Or Marilyn Manson. Charles Manson. That's where Marilyn Manson got his name, man. He was like Marilyn Monroe, Charles Manson, two of the most infamous and hideous, and that's where he mashed it together. But, I don't want to see glorifying Charlie. That's what people got upset with Axl Rose about, where they covered Look at Your Game Girl on the Spaghetti Incident, which was a covers album. He covered a Charles Manson song because Manson was friends with the Beatles, and not the Beatles, I should say, the Beach Boys, who were in. I'm still
a little different.
Yeah, exactly. I'm mashing my facts, but the Beatles were in competition with the Beatles. The Beatles were in competition with the Beatles. I know. The Beach Boys were in competition with the Beatles at the time, and so being sunny California, Manson was friends with the Wilson brothers and stuff like that. So. I don't know. I just don't want to see Charles Manson, as so many people who like true crime, I just don't want him to be made to be cool. I think that'd be kind of messed up, at least personally. So
we'll see how it goes, but I think we should move on probably at this point.
I know, because you have insight to give about this one more so than me, despite being a fan of the guy behind it.
And that is apparently that Netflix has optioned the rights and is now developing a 10-episode series adaptation of the cult classic comic book written by Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance fame, who I have actually just gotten a much greater appreciation for recently.
I love that band so much. Why'd they break up? Why Gerard?
I was like, did something happen to Gerard? Jesus, what was that for?
No,
I was like, oh, it was R.I.P. the band. Yeah,
because
okay.
he wanted to make comic books instead.
Well, with good reason, because the dude is a freaking talent, because they are adapting The Umbrella Academy. And there were 2, I believe, 6-issue series that he did. I have both series, all the issues, because I picked it up because it was so weird looking. I can't remember who actually did the artwork on it.
No, it was a Hispanic name of some sort. It was like Gabriel
Rodriguez? Oh, no, okay.
Sorry.
Either way.
Anyway, yeah.
Nonetheless,
very unique artistic style from what I saw.
Very unique and awesome though. But it was really cool. It was a very unique superhero-ish team, and music was involved, and it was really
no surprise.
It was really interesting. It's been so long since I've read it. All I can remember is that I really enjoyed it, and I remember when it was coming out that people really, really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's like a misfit superheroes team trying to find how their dad got killed or something like that.
That's
from what
entirely
I was reading.
possible.
Yeah. No, that was at least a synopsis that I read, and this is one that has been on my list for a while because it was like he did this for Dark Horse, and then that branched him out to really, I guess, start the career that he wanted all along, because even before 9/11 hit and he started My Chemical Romance, he was working at Cartoon Network, and he had an aspiration. He was an intern at DC. He wanted to be in this visual field, and then the world changed very drastically, and he went and formed a band with his little brother. And they were a goth punk concept band, and the reason that I loved My Chemical Romance so much, some people were like, oh, they're emo, they're whatever. I was like, no, look a little bit deeper, because every record was a concept. The first album was about vampires. Second one was about like Bonnie and Clyde, death, and then the guy's got to go harvest souls to save his lady from hell from the devil and stuff. So, I mean, and the Black Parade obviously was their magnum opus. So, I mean, damn good band. I'm not surprised that with the way he wrote lyrics, the storytelling has reached this level with his comic book stuff. So.
Yeah, it's it's really exciting to think that they'll be doing that, especially in live action, because there's some really cool visuals to be brought to life, including, if I'm not mistaken, there was music used as a weapon. Someone had like a violin or something that would, cascade notes at people. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember, but it was actually part of the influence for one of the ideas for one of my features that I have in my list of 40 ideas. That,
oh, wow.
It was one of the influences, because I was like, that'd be really cool to see. That's what I was thinking, specifically seeing music represented as a weapon on screen.
Music
kind
is
of
a weapon.
Little bit
That's
like
very Nine Inch Nailsy. They did that at one point.
Well, a little bit like Scott Pilgrim, that one fight where it's the band versus the DJs, right? And you see the music transform into
versus
things.
People pressing buttons.
Well, but they're the music transforms into this dragon and stuff like that, and then their music transforms into a giant ape and it fights and stuff like that.
That makes me sad. I haven't seen Baby Driver yet.
Me too, bro. Me too. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. But no, nonetheless, I'm super excited about this. I imagine Gerard's got to have a producer hand in it, if not a guiding writing hand.
Executive producer, yeah. Nothing beyond that, at least for now. But he put out a statement saying that Dark Horse, he was so just overwhelmed with the support they gave him for the project initially, and that's where he had like musical esteem and stuff. So that's not to be surprised about. But Netflix they're unprecedented with their streaming awesomeness at this point. So I think that's a really good pairing.
They are the juggernaut.
They are.
They're bigger than everyone at this point.
Hulu and Amazon are both trying their damnedest.
Yeah, but even Showtime and HBO, I think it's surpassed both of them too.
Yeah, at this point. So, Gerard Way, you're the man, yo.
What's next?
Much love to you. So the next one is actually, we're going to be shifting into more comic news, and the next few stories are actually going to be kind of comic news. So Pumpkinhead, which was Stan Winston, the visual effects guru of just so many different projects.
Early Lance Henriksen, too.
Yeah.
Well, not early, but...
film itself, yeah.
Early-ish.
So it was Stan Winston, a effects guy's directorial debut when he did this Pumpkinhead film, which scared the crap out of me.
Love that movie
as a kid. And there were various sequels that he
didn't
have as much of a hand in.
One of the best original revenge creature movies ever.
Yeah, because it was about his boy getting killed, if I remember
Lance Henriksen's boy gets killed by a bunch of dirt bikers, or actually vacationers that happen to be dirt biking, and his son runs out into the dunes and gets flattened by a bike. And so he approaches a nearby witch in the woods, and pays the price in order to summon the creature to take revenge.
And that creature, dude, was like nightmare fodder. If there's ever been any, my goodness.
Remember how awesome that first one was? Because he carved the upside down cross in the kid before he killed him. Like, so awesome.
Messed up. I don't remember the sequels very well, and I know they're working on a reboot
so strong
currently.
too, because he grabbed the kid's face and pulled him up onto the roof by the face. Like, ugh. Dude, Pumpkinhead was badass. I have all 4 of the movies. They're so fun.
There you go.
They're so fun.
I need to properly explore the sequels then. But there is a comic book that we are going to be able to properly explore in anticipation of the reboot that's coming from one of the Saw producers. And it's being done by Dynamite Entertainment.
I feel like that's been coming for a while, though.
It has been coming for a while because they first acquired the rights and then they started working on the script. And so, I mean, it's a process, obviously, because I know we've talked about it on the news a few... Process, tomato. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, there's a Pumpkinhead comic series that is coming from Dynamite Entertainment in lieu of the anticipated eventual reboot. So I think that's pretty cool. Dynamite has lots of TV licenses, if I'm not mistaken, TV and film, right? I mean, didn't they do... I think the most recent RoboCop Terminator, like, sequel series was a Dynamite, and I think they've done some Ash, Army of Darkness work, and... few others. I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but I know they possess a lot of different licenses as opposed to lots of original properties, and so they let the people who work for them play in that playground, which is pretty dope because I want to see original stories told in these franchises that I've loved since I was a kid. So, you know, I am all for it, and I mean, Dynamite seems like a decent home for Pumpkinhead, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dynamite does a lot of film to comic adaptations. Namely, a lot of Kevin Smith properties. They did the Green Hornet. They did what else did they do? The Batman '66 stuff. They've done a lot of stuff.
They did Batman?
Maybe not Batman. I know they did Xena.
Oh, okay.
Also, they've done a lot. Oh, they did some Ash stuff too.
Yeah.
So they've done a lot of. My point is, they've done a lot of film or TV to comic adaptations. So it's a good fit.
Yeah, indeed. I'm all for it. And there was like a scant press release that they gave out there. They're just like, forthcoming. Get ready for this. And that was about it. So as far as more comic news comes, since this was like a minimal little chunk of news, let's jump to the next one, right?
Absolutely. And that's the fact that DC Comics, which normally every year puts out a big Christmas anthology special, or holiday anthology special, they call it, in December.
More neutral.
Big 80-page giant. And they have been known in the past to do some Halloween specials, but never really, or not never, but not often across the whole universe. Like Batman's done some Halloween specials and stuff like that. But this time, we are apparently getting a 2017 DC Halloween special that is actually supposed to be, it's called the DC House of Horrors, and it's an 80-page anthology, just like the holiday special will be. And it's due out October 25th, so right before Halloween. But honestly, the only thing I know about it is the artwork that I saw, which looked really cool.
Yeah, the cover, presumably.
Yeah. Now, if it's anthology and it's horror, and knowing the talent that works in DC right now, that's super exciting. Do you know who's actually working on it?
Well, there was a lot of names that I rattled off to you, and you were just like, I didn't really know very many.
Oh, okay, so it's not any of the big ones then. Okay, that's why you rattled them off.
Which is cool, though. I mean, the concepts of the stories were what I found a little bit more interesting. It was like, imagine if Martha, why'd you say that name? Martha Kent was, I'm sorry, I had to go there. Imagine if she had an alien spacecraft, like, touch down right in front of her farmhouse, and there's some weird creature, like, you know, that comes out, and she has to combat that's trying to kill her. If there was, all of the Justice League is dead, and there's only, like, a member or two left, and this horrific onslaught that they're trying to combat is, all that
Damn, this
left.
sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, exactly. They gave like three different little just like story tidbits, and there was another thing about like an Amazonian spirit possessing somebody and a little girl in a town.
Cool, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm obviously all for this. I think DC righted the ship with Wonder Woman. Not that I disliked any of the previous films that much.
DC has been so much better than Marvel this whole year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
they've done some really, really good stuff.
And we have to really chime in very quickly. I know this isn't horror news, but I have to ask you. So I know Zack Snyder is off of the Justice League film now, and I guess he changed all his Twitter handles, and so like his stuff about Justice League is now off his page and whatnot. There's rumors of Mr. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Not rumors, confirmation that he's taking over.
Yeah, but beyond that he's actually completely rewriting scenes for this film.
Oh, really? Thank God.
In the reshoots.
So Zack Snyder has completely disavowed his association with the movie?
That's what people are assuming based on the fact that he took all of his stuff from the last few months, but he had a personal tragedy. We have to take that into consideration.
He deleted stuff off his Twitter and everything?
Didn't delete stuff off his Twitter, but he changed his backgrounds of,
because he's no longer
associated with the project. Yeah,
I'll bet that was DC and him coming to an agreement. That wouldn't surprise me because there's so much backlash, and finally, 3 movies in, they're finally probably like, okay, Zach,
didn't work.
Look, we appreciate you, but we tried, man.
Yeah.
We really tried with Watchmen.
We
tried with Man of Steel. We tried with Batman v Superman. We tried with Justice League.
Not Justice League, Suicide Squad. Being more of a killer, something more on that side of horror.
And yet we did get a confirmation that Suicide Squad 2 is going to be coming soon, but not directed by David Goyer.
As opposed
to
David
Ayer, rather.
As opposed to directed by like a commercial cutting team. So
right.
Yeah. In any event, this is actually very good news for DC in the print side, and we're excited to see what they have going on. That was just a little detour. I had to ask this guy's opinion just very briefly. I'm sure you guys like that nerd-tastic little inquiry as well.
So what's next, Fuego?
Yeah, the next one is one that I'm sure you would prefer that I field.
Please
because of the fact that, for God's sake, a lot of people like R.L. Stein. This man does not.
It's not that I don't. It's that I really didn't like the Jack Black version.
Right?
Yeah, I was a Christopher Pike kid.
Yeah.
I did respect. Here's the thing, though. I have to say, I had tremendous respect for R.L. Stein when I was that age because of what he was doing, because he was writing horror things, but I just wasn't reading them. But I still love the fact that a new R.L. Stein book was doing well, and then R.L. Stein had a show too, right, on Nickelodeon, some kind.
It was on Fox Kids, man, that was actually 100 times better than the Goosebumps movie we saw with the
right. That's what I'm saying. So I know what the property's capable of. I'm just disappointed with the Jack Black bullshit that we got.
Indeed. It was it was very half-assed and a lot was maybe even quarter-assed in some people's opinions. But R.L. Stein,
I could do a Jack Black impression. Like, oh my god!
I could start singing Tenacious D, but that wouldn't have the proper effect. And we'd probably get hit with like squeeze.
Oh, you trying to show me?
Anyway,
always have to go hard.
No, you don't. There's sometimes...
That's not right to do. All right, go.
There's actually a very great Mike and Ike.
Gotta make some love.
What is the animation festival? It was like
Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Animation Film Festival. They actually
did the music video for.
I know. I looked it up.
Fuck her hard. We can say the F word on this. We've already dropped it a few times. It's amazing. You guys should seek it out. It's tremendous.
Stuff.
Yeah, but
it's not on YouTube. Try to look it up.
Really? It's not there.
Nope.
Not on Vimeo anywhere.
Nah, probably Vimeo. But.
And in any event, guys, we're going to finally give this brief R.L. Stein update. So, a lot of people like me grew up with the guy. Even though I never got into the Fear Street, I was too Kristopher Pike by that point. But he has 2 different things in the pipeline right now. First and foremost, we have an IDW Publishing comic book continuation of Goosebumps, which is going to be going down. And I guess it's going to be 3-issue series, which is going to not have him writing them like with the Man-Thing stuff that Marvel did. Yeah, it's going to be different rotating people. And the first one is entitled Monsters at Midnight, and it's going to be a return to the Monster Lane thing, which is the alleged premise for the new Goosebumps film. But have to mention that the next film by R.L. Stein is not going to be Goosebumps, like a lot of people speculated.
It's not going to be the Jack Black return.
No. They're probably pushing that back for scheduling conflicts or poor quality. Who the hell knows? But the next one is actually going to be R.L. Stein's Fear Street, which people were talking about. Oh, it was more young adult, and we just got done reviewing kind of, I guess, what would be the equivalent of a young adult film in Wish Upon. So I'm not really that surprised. I actually really liked Wish Upon. It was.
I can't wait to see the R-rated cut. Quite frankly, I think it's going to be a solid horror movie with all that stuff back in it.
Yeah, Final Destination meets Mean Girls was really the best way we could describe it. But Fear Street was originally supposedly, because there was very scant bits of information about it. It was going to be one film, but I guess 20th Century Fox has decided they're going to do something which is almost like a binge movie type scenario, which is, and like, oh my goodness, binge movie. They're filming 3 movies back to back to back currently with this new director, and it's going to be 1 month, another month, and another month.
I was wondering, how is it going to be binging? Okay, that's cool.
It's going to be all in succession, and that's how they're doing the trilogy.
I like that. The first person to touch, dip their toes into that territory was what was it, Back to the Future, that had 2 and 3 come out like 6 months apart or something like that?
Yeah, because they filmed them like back to back, and yet Back to the Future 2 took way more post-production because the third one was the Western, obviously, so that didn't really have much to do for it. So,
but yeah, so I love that. I think more movies should do that. Avengers, Marvel movies, film them all.
James Cameron,
spend the money.
Filming like 4 movies together right now, and has been for he's never even started.
It's going to take forever.
He just keeps pushing.
2020, the next Avatar movie is going to be 11 years after the first one.
Damn, did I love that first one?
Oh, that first one was bomb. He's gonna, but he already said. Did you hear the innovation, or are you the one that told me the innovation?
The innovation? No, maybe not.
For new Avatar.
No.
He's developing technology where the 3D will not be in glasses. The 3D will be you just walk in and it's in 3D. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like him because of the fact that he was so revolutionary with the first film, and it's still the best 3D I've ever seen. I mean, Prometheus came close, Coraline came close, but nothing has touched it. So
honestly, The Mummy was very good in 3D. I thought.
I don't know about that.
I thought the non-action scenes were really cool. Yeah. It looked like it was like, holy shit, I'm in the room with these guys. Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, exactly. We were sidetracking because there were better things to talk about then. A Goosebumps comic coming in October and a R.L. Stein trilogy. Yes, exactly.
Next
so what do we got next, brother?
Is the new upcoming It director, Andres Machete, is apparently going to be working. He's actually replacing the previous director for the upcoming pilot of Lock and Key.
Yeah, which Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson. Wait, he's replacing Scott Derrickson?
He's replacing Scott Derrickson.
So that's the weird thing, right? Scott Derrickson we know for Sinister and all those movies.
Obviously Doctor Strange.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was apparently a scheduling conflict from what I read. So it was like Snowpiercer pilot, Lock and Key pilot. And he was like, what should I do? And I guess I'll go Snowpiercer. So that's what he decided to do. And now...
Really?
Yep, that's what he decided to do
Scott Derrickson went to Snowpiercer?
Scheduling conflict, as all the reports said instead. Yeah. So.
Lock and Key's way better than Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer was pretty good, but that
it was
first
okay, but
Lock and
Key's bomb, dude. Did you read all 6 issues?
Well, you lent me the trade, remember?
I don't have the trade. I only have the 6 issues.
Yeah, well, maybe I bought a trade or something.
You must have, because dude, that story is so amazing. And then I came back. It's so good. But to know that Andres Machete is going to be, I'll be more excited after I see it.
I know, but with all the buzz behind it and the fact that he's stating very directly it's a hard R, we're going to have the Beverly kind of creepy father stuff. We're going to have so much other nastiness in this film. They were very declarative. I don't know.
Declarative, you're right.
Declarative, yes. Thank you for the confirmation. So, but, I mean, they were just very upfront about the fact that we did not shy away in this film. We went, like, hard R. And not just with the violence, with the subject matter, which really, I think, is awesome. Although I'm wondering with all the different time periods of different things happening, how much are they going to, actually properly represent. However, if he's been asked to this project, I'm excited about that, too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I am too. We're running a little short on time, so all I know is I love Lock and Key. I have all of the, I have the first 2 series in comics, and then I have the rest in hardcover format. Plus, I have the Small World one-shot that came years later. So I'm super excited about this translation. Bomb diggity, super pumped. What's next?
Yeah. Next thing is going to be another bit of Stephen King-related information in the fact that Idris Elba has apparently been confirmed for this Dark Tower television series, which is still in production.
Not as the main character, though, right?
Not as the main character. He's been confirmed to be in it, and yet I'm really wondering how much changing they could potentially do, because they're saying this TV series will be the original Ron Howard Inception that was going to have Javier Bardem and was going to have all of that original casting from like 10 years ago, where it was going to be 3 films.
It won't have the same cast.
3 films, well, obviously not, but the aesthetic and the idea behind it was 3 movies and then 2 corresponding series that kind of filled in the backstory behind, because there's lots of flashbacks in the Dark Tower stories, at least the first and the fourth book.
But I think Idris Elba will mainly be used to bridge the movies
too.
So it'll be like him hanging in Midworld or whatever the fuck it's called.
Start to tell a story and then
flash back to a younger let's just say Donald Glover.
Okay. I'm actually all about that casting. Michael B. Jordan, something like that, since they've changed the race of
Michael B. Jordan, who, by the way, looks exactly like Shawn Wayans.
In some way.
Because I saw, that trailer for the new movie that he's in, where he plays the bad guy. What is that? Is it a Marvel movie?
Yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. He plays the bad guy. I swear to God, every time he's on camera, I'm like, that's Shawn Wayans from like 15 years ago.
Oh, Black Panther looks so good.
Anyway, sorry. I had to get that out.
No, you're fine. So, you're actually familiar with the story they would be telling here, though, because Wizard and Glass is what Marvel adapted as a comic book, at least for half of, more like two-thirds.
I would love that. So the original Quartet and
Cuthbert, Elaine,
Delgado.
and Susan Delgado, and the love story there, and the stuff that laid the groundwork for him eventually pursuing the tower and all that. That's what this TV series would essentially entail.
Getting obsessed with the grapefruit?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Which was the only little orb that the Crimson King did not have. Yeah, interesting stuff. I'm almost done with book 7 right now, and so they were just talking about that.
The actual book 7 or book 7 plus, where Stephen King's like, well, you could read on if you want.
Well, there is that. It's all in the same tone, man. And so I'm about 30 pages from that point, and then I've got another 40 pages from there, where King is like, oh, if you want to go on and see where it really ends.
Who wouldn't do that?
I have such mixed feelings.
Who's like, you know what?
This is actually
40 pages? Nah, I'm good. I like it right here.
Yeah, this is actually shameless plug time then, because of the fact that 2 days before, on the 19th of July, you guys probably, if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have, new Dark Tower and final Dark Tower review of the 7th and final Dark Tower book, Dark Tower 7.
You're not going to do the 8th installment thing, the tie-in book?
No, I already did that, because that was
you did? Okay.
Technically 4.5.
Damn, so you've done this for 8 months already?
I've done it. It's been a journey, bro.
Jesus.
Almost as long as Roland Deschaines himself. Yeah, craziness.
That's Deschaines?
Yeah. Well,
actually, no, it's not, because Stephen King said when he read the book himself that it's actually Deschaines.
Yeah, exactly. And so even though the guy who reads the audiobook...
I'm just being the audience.
No, you're fine. Dude, you saw the comment probably, right? Where the guy was like, well, I mean, I was pronouncing it one way until King pronounced it the other way when he read the Wind Through the Keyhole. So in any event, I'm excited that this TV series is happening. He's looking at time because it's important here. But if it does end up happening, like Akiva Goldsman keeps just saying, they've scripted the first episode already, the pilot. So fingers firmly crossed, although I still have mixed feelings about some of the changes, but that's okay. As long as it happens, I'm cool with it. And the last story is actually placed in the end, at least in my opinion, because of the fact that we just lost George Romero this past weekend, and so I felt, what better than to talk about a bit of zombie news.
That has nothing to do with him at all?
At least as far as inspiration goes. There wouldn't be a show like The Walking Dead without George Romero.
And so, of course, there would be no Walking Dead without the legend of George Romero.
Salute,
but there would be no Fear the Walking Dead without The Walking Dead. And The Walking Dead has had a sort of Walking Dead experience at Halloween Horror Nights. And Marsha Parker and I got to do that last year. We did a review on it on the channel, which was a haunted house walkthrough of zombies and stuff. You essentially walk through the first 3 or 4 seasons of the show. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But this is apparently a Fear the Walking Dead experience that is debuting this summer in Vegas, you guys.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. That means it's got to be on the main strip. No. Of course, since the show is sort of a B squad of The Walking Dead, of course, Fear the Walking Dead's experience is going to the B squad of Vegas, which is Fremont Street.
The original
old Vegas.
Downtown Vegas, bro.
So you guys can go, you can get hammered and then go to Fremont Street where you can see jets fly overhead in the lit up marquee that goes the entire length of the street, and then go in and see some.
Those jizz lines.
Jizz lines? What? What Fremont Street did you go to?
It was a different kind of first line, man. I'm sorry.
So you walk under the jizz line like this?
No, it's actually there's others below me. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding. But the skylines, or I mean, shit, whatever they call those, where you're like on the skylines or.
Zip line.
Zip lines, yeah. There was a South
there's a zip line all the way down there now.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Okay.
Another reason at least there was
continue to lose weight.
Yeah, dude. At least there was when I went for a friend's wedding, and so granted it's Fremont Street, and Fremont Street's a little edgy, and at least in certain people's perspectives. But I've had tons of fun.
Edgy as in crime ridden.
I've always had fun every time I've gone there. Where there's like that, and they claim people can win more money there. I don't know, the slots are looser, blah, blah, blah. But I've been wanting to watch Fear the Walking Dead for a while, and apparently this story-wise takes place right at the end of the first crossover to the second season, where they get to like the makeshift medical lab, which is at the junior college or something. And so that's where you start out, and then you kind of branch out and go through, and it's called Fear the Walking Dead Survival. And that's where, everything transpires, and they have like a high-class, like just high-talent production team behind it as far as like effects and visuals and the makeup of people who are going to be trying to attack you. And I think it sounds pretty dope. I'd be up for doing it. I mean, Vegas is only... Ms. Bond, what up? It's only a few hours from here, so...
Yeah. No, I'd be down to do that too. Again, I went through the regular Walking Dead experience, and it was pretty fun, so I would do this, although Fear the Walking Dead was much boring, so I'd assume they'd like give me some coffee or something when I walk in to make sure I don't fall asleep.
And yet, as you told me, the third season is presumably better.
I've heard the third season is much better than the first two seasons. I haven't watched any yet.
Yeah, neither have I.
No, they lost a lot of goodwill. I gave them 2 seasons, man. I gave them 2 seasons. Yeah. And that is a lot of time.
That's all you can do, dude. But, I mean, there would be no Walking Dead if not for George Romero, so I think that's a good place for us to end today, and also to say, check out our live stream, discussion about the man that we did this past Sunday. It's lengthy, and, we jumped into all of his different movies with, Dirk, Luis, Cecil, myself, Andrew, Marcia. It was awesome, and we tried to dive as deep as we could, but I also was very privileged to talk to the man at Scarefest back in 2015, which you can also check out on the channel. And he has allegedly had 4 other scripts, according to the guy he was working on for Road of the Dead, that are completed, and they're not all zombie stuff. And
really?
He is very adamant. I thought about making this a news story, but he is adamant, all the people around him, about just kind of optioning these and seeing if they can turn them into, something theatrical in his memory. There's already... extended family for me is in Pittsburgh, and so there's already a big billboard up saying "Oh, the horror" with the original zombie with a little tear going down, and I thought that was really classy, man. So they respect the legacy of a guy who changed the genre and the industry that we love so much forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So rest in peace, Mr. Romero. Thank you for your contributions to the genre, to this world, and especially from us to our channel. We really appreciate it. And you guys, if you didn't know, the thing that we've been saying on the channel since the very beginning, we found out about 2.5 years in when we went to interview Mr. Romero, that apparently he also shared the sentiment, stay scared. And so we couldn't be happier to share such a sentiment with a horror icon and legend that I had no idea that he did that when I came up with stay scared and decided to start saying it on the channel. And so to know that we shared it with such an amazing legend in the genre, I am more than happy to continue that tradition and bear that torch.
Dude, there were big industry people in their memoriams to him saying "Stay Scared" # and I was just like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, we're in good company.
Absolutely.
So, love you, George.
So thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime, and Fuego.
And remember,
stay scared. Love you, George.